A lot of people here. All right. I'll call the May 18th City Council meeting to order. Call the roll.
Ashley Allers here. Abby Hansen here. John Hawkins
Here.
John Marvel
Here.
Megan McFarland here.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Call for motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Okay, item one is, yep. This is the time of the meeting that a citizen may address the council on a matter not on the agenda, except in cases of emergency. The city council may not take any action at this meeting, but may ask city staff to research the matter or have the matter placed on the agenda for a future meeting. Anyone have anything for us tonight? All right. Item 2 is a consent agenda. The following items have been deemed non-controversial routine actions to be approved by the council in a single motion. If a council member or member of the audience wishes to have an item removed from this list, we'll consider it on its normal sequence on the agenda. I have A is minutes of May 5th. B is the claims and the fund list. C is a report for the wastewater, electric and water. D is the police April report. And E is the fire April report. F is a recommended approval for issuance of beer liquor licenses for the Iowa Department of Commerce for the following. Approve ownership amendment for Class B retail alcohol license for Dolgan Corp, Dollar General, 18 Superior Street. Approve a Class E retail alcohol license for Fairway Stores, number 395 at 942 2nd Street. Approve the Class E retail alcohol license for Casey's 1828 store at 1300 2nd Street, and approve a Class E retail alcohol license for Hy-Vee at 823 2nd Street. That's it.
Move to approve collectively.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're going to, I'm going to mix it up a bit here because we've got some storms going in and we'd like to get some people back on the road. So we're going to move item D. For the first one is a resolution authorising the assurance agreement with IADG, Iowa Area Development Group, for a Red Leg or Rural Economic Development Loan for Edible Gardens Prairie Hills LLC. John.
Buddy Maxey and Steve Benny are here to present on this matter.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, first and foremost, thank you guys so much for providing the agenda. When I get on the road, I took a peek at my Weather Channel app, and it's going to be a eventful evening.
Yeah.
So, well, hello everyone. My name is Stephen Benny. I work for an organization called the Iowa Area Development Group. If you don't know us, we are the economic development and marketing arm for electric utilities throughout the state of Iowa. And so you all purchase your power from Corn Belt Power. Corn Belt is a member of ours, so Webster City Utilities is a member of ours as well. And so today I'm asking and be seeking your support for me to authorize an application to USDA for the Rural Economic Development Loan Grant Program. And this is in support of the Edible Gardens project, which I'm sure I don't have to explain all the details. It's a pretty substantial project for the city that we're pretty excited about. To date, Corn Belt Power has already approved support for an application, so they will be submitting an application to USDA. And so today we're just following that up with Webster City and asking for your support. So if you would like, I can explain the program, how it works, and then happy to take any questions.
Please do.
Okay.
Yeah, can you give us a quick?
Yeah.
So
So this, I don't know if you have this handout. I saw this slide pop up there.
let's go up. It's this.
I got it. Yeah. Yeah, so there's visually, this is great. So this is a unique program. I always call it a bit of a niche program because businesses can't apply for it directly. It's actually the utilities that apply on behalf of the businesses. So, Edible Gardens can't just go to USDA and submit an application. They have to have a partnership there. And so the way the program works, first and foremost, it's a competitive application. It's not, you submit it, you qualify and get accepted. You compete on a quarterly basis. The incentive is a $1 million loan at 0% interest on a 10-year term. The company will have the opportunity, if they seek to defer payments for, it says 2 years. So if they defer for up to 2 years, they can do that. They can also defer for 1 year. They can defer for no years. It's really up to you as the intermediary to decide those terms. But the way the process works is that Webster City Muni Utilities would apply on behalf of the project. If awarded, the Muni actually gets a loan from USDA for $1 million. And then all the Muni will do is turns around and then they lend that money out to Edible Gardens. Edible Gardens repays the Muni turns around and repays USDA. In case the business, whatever, go out of business, heaven forbid, or stop making payments for whatever reason. In terms of collateral, what we ask for private companies, what's called an irrevocable letter of credit. And so this is from their banking institution. And so if they leave in the middle of the night, stop making payments, essentially the bank is guaranteeing the loan. I don't have confirmation quite yet for what bank that will be, but that is something that we ask for before we close on the loan. Application process, applications are accepted quarterly. So right now, currently USDA is accepting applications. We're in the third quarter right now, but it's April, May, and June. At the end of June, they'll take all the applications they received in Iowa, score them and rank them. And then at the end of the next quarter, they're going to announce all of the awardees. And so they just fund the top rated application in each state. And then if there's still money left over, they go to the second highest, third highest, so on and so forth. If they don't get the award on the first try, they have 3 more attempts. So they get a full fiscal year to it. And yeah, so I'm happy to answer any more details, but that's essentially it. Already Corn Belt, like I said, has approved sponsorship for their portion. And then so you all would approve a motion to support another application to go along with the Corn Belt application as well.
Steve, just one question for the community and the city's
Yep.
perspective. Is the city in any way on the hook for any of this $1 million?
No, it's all completely guaranteed through your vocal.
And the city has done, I believe, 2 of these loans previously, one with
Yeah.
Bandy's Medical Center and one with Mary Ann's.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Been a while, but yeah.
Thank you for your support of our economic development efforts.
When is the letter of credit due?
So what we ask for when we apply is a letter from the bank confirming that they had
Correct.
discussions.
But you do not have that yet.
We don't have that yet. It's a part of the application process that I'll ask for before I even submit. And then
So it's due to you before you submit.
not the year's local letter of credit. So there's just a letter that we ask for the bank to make sure that they can actually get it if we get awarded. And then once we're ready to close, that's when we ask for the bank to submit. And we're not gonna close on anything before we get a year local letter of credit.
One time, walk me through the Corn Belt
Mhm.
part of this.
So, yeah, so applicants have the opportunity.
Excuse me, our friends at Corn Belt.
Yes, so applicants have the ability to submit multiple applications for projects. Typically, the rule is up to 2 loan applications for a project. Given that this is such a large project, they decided to ask for 2 applications. So Corn Belt has went ahead and said we'll support an application. The applications will compete. So these are 2 separate loans, separate applications for the same project. And so we can submit them at the same time. They're going to compete against each other, but there's the opportunity to get $2 million and 0% interest for the project.
The loan is said to be for equipment for the factory.
Yes,
Does that have to be any more specific?
we'll outline specific equipment in the application. That way we ensure that USDA knows on the back end, once they prove that they spent the money, what they said they're going to spend it on, we want to be as specific as possible.
Thank you.
Okay. Call for motion.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
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 Thank you, sir. You can
Thank you.
Thank you.
watch the weather. Okay, item A is a public hearing on the proposal to dispose of city-owned real estate located at 128 Apple Avenue, Webster City, Iowa. I'll open the hearing. Are there any written objections?
No, there weren't.
Are there any oral objections? I'll close the hearing. Okay, there we go.
Good evening, Mayor
Good
and
evening.
council members. Thank you for your time. So tonight, staff is just requesting that council approve the disposal of the city-owned property located at 128 Apple to Brent and Becky Holgrafer for $20,000. The city acquired this property via the abandonment process in April of 2025 and subsequently demolished that building, that structure, as it was deemed past its useful life. Previous council action was that we set the public hearing on May 4th. And so tonight is just for your approval for the resolution to dispose of that. With the disposal, there is a purchase agreement that was included in the packet, which would allow the buyers of the adjoining property to purchase this property. They would have to combine the two parcels and then construct a detached garage or a garage on the property by June 30th of 2028. If these conditions are not met, the property would be deeded back to the city. So tonight, I'm just asking that you approve the resolution to dispose of the property to Brent and Becky at Full River.
Any questions?
Do you have a question, Mrs. Holgrafer?
Yes, I do.
Can you come to the podium?
Years.
Can you come to the podium? please? Sorry.
All right, I couldn't see it.
Yes, we need more than 2 years. There's trees that's gotta come down and there's other stipulations that the city hasn't finished doing over there, like filling in the hole where they dug up the water. And there's a sewer pipe in there that they said they were gonna come take out and they haven't taken out yet. And where they buried the end loader, that hasn't been completely done yet. But it's gonna take at least a good 2 years just to get the trees out and get it leveled off before we can even start to pour. Cause there's 3 big trees. And then the city tree would have to come down too. That's sitting out front that we've been trying to get down for 3 years. Because that would block our access to be able to get into the garage.
It's 3 years. What do you?
Sure.
Me too.
Okay.
Is 3 years good?
Pardon?
3 years?
3 years,
3 years?
no. 4,
No,
No, we can't do.
Not-
that.
okay,
that.
yeah, well,
Um,
nothing can be done that fast.
now,
Well, it is 3 years, Becky. I mean,
Yeah, but Brent's working out on the road.
Mhm.
All right, 3 years.
I think we should circle back on this and make sure everything we're talking about is.
Certainly. Do you mind if I clarify the issues just briefly?
Please.
Mayor Hawkins?
Yeah.
Ms. Holgrafer, you've requested that a few trees be removed from the
The only
property.
thing that I'm worried about, we will take care of the trees in the yard. We'll take them down and get everything leveled out and this and that and everything else. You know, the trees in the yard, I don't care about. The only actual tree I care about is the one on the city property.
The city property that you're acquiring or the city?
No, the city property, it's right,
Oh,
it
okay.
adjoins our 2 properties
Certainly. We will
on the city part of it.
We will expedite removal of that tree as soon as possible. We'll get it on the list. You also mentioned a sewer.
A sewer
Excellent.
pipe that they were
Sewer.
gonna take out a long time ago.
Are you familiar with this, Ariel?
Follow up with it.
Yeah, if I had my phone, I could show you pictures and
and-
stuff, but I don't have my phone in here with me.
Is this sewer pipe exposed?
Yeah,
Okay.
and the top got broke off of it and it's been that way for over a year.
And then you'd like it filled in where the backhoe was buried when they
Yeah,
were
and-
attempting to do some work.
Where they dug the water line, to find the water line.
Yep,
There's still a big hole there that they never come fill back in. We can't even mow that.
yep. And you'd like that filled in and graded.
Yeah,
Yeah. So Zach, uh, we would agree to get those done within the next 6 months. Certainly. Is there anything that needs to be done with the agreement to
Just,
consummate that or not?
we're going to extend the purchase agreement to, or if we're going to extend the term to 3 years, we would just have to approve it with that amendment, and then I can make the change from June 30th of 28 to June 30th of 29.
Okay, but then I don't want my time to start until that stuff's done, because I can't do nothing until it's done.
Well, there won't be anything for you to do on the property until that's done, and we should have that done in 6 months, and then
Then my time would start then.
no, the time starts at the time that we sign the agreement. But we are agreeing to resolve those 3 issues
Yeah,
within the next 6 months.
okay,
So it's June, just so I'm on the same page, June 30th of 2029, you will have
a garage.
the properties adjoining the garage done. Or you forfeit the
Yes.
first, okay. And that's up to the council, of course, but that's what all I would do is just, you would approve it subject to that amendment.
I am fine with those terms if the attorney is. And the council, of course.
How did we come up with the original timeline of 2 years?
I think that's fairly standard to allow the garage to be constructed within those months, similar to other agreements we're contemplating. Some have longer time frames than others, I suspect.
But, so I'm gonna make a motion for the 3 years
Move to approve
with the.
with the amendment of 3 years and
Okay. And then,
the room of extras. A second.
okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
I'm opposed.
Oh, I should have read the damn thing first. I didn't read it, but anyway, that's all right. All right, B is a public hearing on proposed dispose of city-owned real estate located in Brewer Creek Estates, 5th edition, Webster City, Iowa, to Origin Homes. I'll open the hearing. Are there any written objections?
No.
Are there any oral objections? Nope. I'll close the hearing. Ariel.
So this came before you on May 4th. Tonight, we're just asking for the resolution for the disposal to be approved. This would allow for Origin Homes to purchase 3 lots within Brewer Creek 5th Edition at $100 per lot. That does still require that they meet all covenants that are in place for the Brewer Creek 5th Edition. It's an 18-month time frame for those 3 homes to be constructed and a minimum of 1,500 square feet of living space plus a 2-car garage. This is below market value, obviously, with it being $100, but the disposal facilitates the new housing development, which would then have a tax roll start. This as well supports their application for workforce housing tax credits, so that's why we're holding the public hearing, and I'm requesting resolution be approved tonight.
Anyone got any questions for Ariel?
I'd just say in the final legs of that negotiation, we urged the developer to meet the existing covenants at the 1,500 square feet to avoid any question about that in exchange for a little bit of reduced price on the lots. So that's how those issues framed up. Just want to thank Zach for working on that purchase agreement and getting the necessary protections in for the city should the developer ultimately not perform.
Okay. So I'll call for a resolution approving the disposal of city-owned property in Brewer Creek Estates, 5th edition, to Origin Homes.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item C is a presentation on the history of Brewer Creek lots, 5th and 6th edition.
So I have been asked to provide an introduction to this topic. The subject matter is, of course, the price for the remaining lots in Brewer Creek subdivision, which the city embarked on some time ago. Earlier in this year, this year, or even towards the end of last year, I was asked to give an update on housing construction and single-family home construction within the city at Hamilton County Growth Partnership meeting. At that time, I reported that there was not a home that had been built last year within the city. We are fortunate that there was one constructed this year on a lot along Wall Street, but that I was tepid or somewhat uncertain if we would get any single-family building permits this year. As a result, that the Hamilton County Growth Partnership is made up of not only the city, the county, other institutions, but private business. Was urged by private business to attempt to address the situations that the city had control over in order to spur, hopefully, some development in the subdivision. As reported by employers in Webster City to us from time to time, housing has constrained their ability to recruit employees to the area, among other issues that they list that we can discuss if you would like to know more about those other issues. Certainly, the city as owner of the subdivision has control of the pricing. There was an expected sort of date of return and things like that have been impacted by things like the global pandemic, rising interest rates, inflation, and rising construction costs. So staff collaborated with the private business and has worked up a couple options for you to consider on repricing the lots in Brewer Creek subdivision. I would say that in the initial analysis of the subdivision, when it was presented and ultimately approved by the council, there was sort of a 10-year look back and a payback window, which is very prudent, responsible, and fiscally responsible. Each day that the lots go undeveloped, there is an opportunity cost for the city in terms of property tax revenue, utility revenue along all of the utilities, water, sewer, and electricity that, we also consider. And I think, in terms of the return on investment for the city, these homes will be there much longer than 10 years. So we can look in the outer horizons, 20, 30, 40 years, in terms of our calculations on the return on benefit. Still remains a quality subdivision with quality homes, I think is popular among the residents in that area. And so I can answer any questions in regards to my introduction. Ariel has a presentation she would like to walk through. And then Ryan Williams, who is currently serving as president of the Hamilton County Growth Partnership, is also here to make some remarks in regards to the theory behind our adjusting the lot prices.
Can you scroll to the presentation, please?
Yep.
So as John stated, this presentation was really put together to just walk through the historical development of the Brewer Creek 5th and 6th editions and address the slow absorption rate of remaining lots. So back in October of 2015, the city purchased the land. It was 27.47 acres. In January of 2016, the approval of the 5th edition and 6th edition was approved. June of 2016, the preliminary plats were approved, and then August 2017, the final plat approval for the residential development. The lot prices were established and adopted by Resolution 2017-150. And so the big key governance pieces to just bullet point here are that we entered a formal agreement with Webster and Kim, that was in 2015, for the technical development of Brewer Creek. Then in 2017, we partnered with Northland. They established initial lot valuation based on regional benchmarks. And then City Council adopted the resolution authorizing internal advance for urban renewal funding in 2019. The total advanced for the infrastructure investment was $2.7 million, just over $2.7 million. The total project cost was $2,758,000. And then the total outstanding balance as of ending fiscal year 2026 is almost $2.4 million. The capital scope of this was that the comprehensive investment covers the sanitary and storm sewer systems, water main extension and connectivity, and then road paving and site grading. This next slide shows the projection at that time of the total project cost, what we projected that the revenue from the sales would be, and then the TIF recovery gap. So 62% of that is based off of the direct sales, and then 38% is based off of the TIF. And that was over a 10-year process, and that was the projections. To now, fiscal year 2026, the lot sales revenue has been 68,390 for fiscal year 2026, with a TIF revenue of $15,581.62. So total is $83,971.62. So our outstanding balance as of the end of fiscal year 26 is $2,382,000. So this represents the actual lot sales. That's 13 out of 52 lot sales that have taken place, and as well as the TIF revenue for the outstanding balance. So again, where are we now? We've sold 13 lots. So that leaves 39 lots still available for purchase. Of those 13 lots, we have had 100% completed construction on those lots, and they've all been 100% compliant with the covenants. We do still have an outstanding balance of $49,580, and that is due to having 3 lots in Brewer Creek that have had homes built on them, but they have not sold yet. When we entered the development agreement with those developers, we did approve that they pay for the lot upon sale of the property, so that's why we have that outstanding balance. Just going back on talking about the pricing for the lots. So we did partner with Northland Securities in 2017 to analyze the market and establish those baseline lot prices. We also, the city council and city staff, consulted with 2 local financial institutions at that same time to cross-reference the recommendations, and then we essentially or ultimately lowered the price to stimulate growth and meet more of our local bank support. So lot pricing, this slide shows what Northland originally proposed. It also shows what we originally adopted back in 2017. And then these next couple slides show this third column is what the current local financial price recommendation is. All of these new price recommendations is reflecting a 60% of current adopted price. And then this is for the 6th edition with the same columns. This shows our current lots and what has sold in the current lot prices. Obviously, you see these ones over here have built out a little bit quicker. They're the lower price lots at this time. The next slide shows the proposed lot prices from the local financial, and still shows what lots are sold as well. This slide, so in addition to the local financial recommendation, city staff has also developed a lot square footage model for consideration. So we base this off of, well, obviously square footage, but right now we also have it restricted to 1 dwelling per lot. So city staff is also recommending possibly altering that restriction to allow for the purchase of multiple lots while maintaining a minimum square footage of 1,500 or I apologize, of 2,000 square feet or whatever council is comfortable with. But that would allow for the purchase of more lots and structures. And then the last slide is showing the square footage proposal for the lot prices. So that is what I have in the presentation. If Ryan wants to step up and give some feedback as well.
Thank you, Ariel. Thank you, council. So John had mentioned that my capacity with the growth target for housing is one of our major points of our strategic plan and a major challenge we see when talking to employers here in town. I can name
multiple examples where key hires maybe didn't go through with housing being a main issue and factor in that. So John came to me and asked me to relook at the Brewer Creek edition and the current lot pricing. In my model, was to reduce the prices by 40% to 60% of the current ask. Part of the goal with that was to recoup as much of the city's initial investment as possible, but also incentivize development. And with that plan and assuming the 10-year TIF sunset horizon, you would recoup about 80 to 85% of the original investment, depending on, of course, final assessed values of those homes. Another thing I wanted to mention is just major headwinds that face new development today. I think it was mentioned interest rates when the development was done. We're in the 4.5% range for mortgages. Those dipped to all-time lows below 3% prior to COVID. And now today mortgage rates are in the low 6%. So if you calculate that on a new home, that can add thousands a year to the annual mortgage cost for someone trying to build a new home. Another challenge we have from the banking standpoint is the cost of new construction has risen so sharply, and we don't have enough comparative sales in Webster City to justify the cost of new construction. So someone wants to build a new home, they factor in the cost of the lot plus the cost of new construction. It's hard to get an appraisal to come back and justify that total cost, get a loan from a bank to cover the project. So that's some of the reasons we're suggesting this. I support the proposal to reduce the lot prices and try to spur new development. I think it's clear the development's 8 years old and we've sold 25% of the lots. Something needs to be done to accelerate that, begin recouping some of the investment that the city's made, widen our tax base, and of course, lower the carrying costs on the lots. So that's all I've had. If anyone has any questions for me.
Thanks, Ron.
So the questions that were presented to the council in terms of recommendation and options are, are you open, to adjusting the prices? Do you prefer option B or option C in terms of pricing? If you desire something else, please direct us and we can develop something different. And then we're also seeking feedback on, Ariel, you can help me explain this. There has been sort of a prior it's been prohibited to purchase 2 lots and build a single home on those. I believe Ariel's proposal includes a recommendation that you would allow people to buy 2 lots, but then in turn they would have to increase the square foot of the home. In other editions of Brewer Creek, it came to our attention that occasionally 2 property owners would buy or over time acquire the equivalent of 3 lots. So they'd get sort of a lot and a half. Are you open to us working with those that come in that may want something like that or not? So those are really the policy questions we're asking you tonight. And then based on your direction, we'll bring back the documents for your consideration on approval.
What's your reasoning for going for the square footage? Did you less restriction on it or?
Yeah, and make it cleaner, easier when you're looking at the map. Right now, when you're looking at the map and the square footage is maybe $200 square feet different, and it's anywhere from $5,000 to $14,000. It's hard to get somebody to see those lots and explain to them the difference between, obviously it's because of the investment that went into those lots.
Yeah.
But it would just make things cleaner and easier. We did base it off of what we believe would be the value of the home purchased on those lots or built on those lots. So for the smaller lots that are 7,500 to 12,000 square feet, we're projecting an average bill to be a value of $250,000. And then on the medium sized lots, $350,000, and then the large lots, $450,000.
I'd be open to looking at expanding the lots. If they want to do something different with it. It's there'd be people there. I've had people ask me that in the past. I don't know if they've ever come to you, but So, and I'm happy to go with C. So, that's my thoughts.
Well, I think it's clear we need to do something because in 2025, there was zero new construction. I believe that's correct.
Correct.
Which is disappointing. I think it's disappointing from an economic development standpoint when we're trying to get people here. And you're taking, I understand. I've had some people say, well, you're not living up to the original, but sometimes you have to take steps backwards to progress forward. And I think we're looking at where we're going to be at in 10 years. This is something we probably have to do. And and I think option C is pretty strong.
I tend to agree by the square foot. I think it makes it easier to show and sell.
And as we develop, with Edible Garden and potentially the south of 20 industrial acreage, we have opportunity right now. So I think we need to start looking at, housing and really going after it and being aggressive with it. And this is a step forward. I mean, again, we're taking a step back where we're going forward. So in my mind.
Well, with that feedback, we'll proceed with bringing back the necessary documents to execute option C. And whatever needs to happen about those lots that people may want to double up on or add to. If that is the direction you'd like us to go.
I think it's worthwhile to allow someone to double up. I think you need to set limits, though. You don't want someone to go buy 4 lots and have
Right.
a huge lot in the middle of.
Right.
Agreed. 2 is the max. The max.
Okay. Well, item E is a resolution setting a time and place for a public hearing on the proposal to dispose of city-owned real estate property at Fair Avenue area for June 1st at 6:05 p.m.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Well, that's pretty well what it is, yeah. Okay. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
All right. Item F is the first reading of an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Webster City by amending Chapter 8-29 for Chapter 8 pertaining to keeping of livestock within the corporate limits of the City of Webster City, Iowa.
So this proposed amendment was presented to the Planning and Zoning Commission on Wednesday night. Last Wednesday, I apologize. The commission has formally recommended that the city council pass the ordinance as presented. So what our current ordinance states is that you are allowed to have chickens in residential neighborhoods, and that you are not allowed to have roosters. However, we get calls quite a bit on the maximum of chickens that are allowed within residential neighborhoods, both from people inquiring about getting chickens and also from neighbors who are concerned with the amount of chickens in their backyard. This really came up to when we had a call on 72 chickens in a residential within the city. So the proposed amendment would allow for a maximum of 6 chickens unless you have an acre or more, and then at that time you would be permitted up to 12. It does still keep the prohibition of roosters within city limits, and that they must be kept in the rear yard in a designated closure or coop that is restricted to any predators getting in. Also, it still restricts chickens being raised for business or commercial purposes. So tonight, staff is just recommending that the council approve the first reading of the ordinance amending Chapter 8 livestock.
Do we allow them on apartment, like at apartment grounds?
That's a good question.
We actually do.
I think that should.
Is that a matter you would like us to consider in future?
Well, if I lived in an apartment, I would
Yes.
take strongly to not liking that.
Right.
So Zach, can they prohibit the keeping of chickens in multifamily then by amending the ordinance?
Yep. You can still approve the first reading tonight, and then by the time we do the second, we can amend to just restrict it to R1, R2. Yeah, R1 and R2 zoning districts only.
I think that sounds.
I think it's appropriate when it's not a shared.
I guess it could be an R3
Don't do
too,
that.
but it would just be no multi,
Yeah,
single family, or yeah.
yard should not be.
No.
Correct.
The
Because
project,
you're gonna have, sorry, I didn't want to jump in have you, because, yeah, we'll get creative on that, because you're gonna have some, like, I'm thinking on Beach Street, you have those. Is it 4 units tied together?
Mhm.
We all have backyards, are you gonna, I mean, are you just thinking like?
Sure.
I think when a shared yard, like if they have 4 units and they each have their own yard, it's not such a big thing. But when you're an apartment building and you all share the same yard, I don't feel you should be able to raise chickens.
This is not technically
Your yard.
Will the people, like, will this be like, if somebody does have more than 6 chickens right now, are they grandfathered in? Or is this where they should have
Yeah.
to be?
Do you want to
I
take
wanna
that?
get-
Take it out.
Okay, so it's not intended for city staff to start policing chickens. So if they currently have chickens, we're not going out and identifying their age by any means.
You're not gonna catch chickens before they hatch.
Yeah, so, yes, they would be.
So at the risk, at the risk of going viral, who are the chicken police?
Yeah, so this is, well, we have,
Sorry, John, I want to comment, this is, I know it's funny, but it's.
No, I know it's not funny to the it is not funny for the chicken people. I get it.
But yes, John, go ahead, the policing of the chickens.
well, this is an instance that I would refer to as passive enforcement rather than proactive enforcement. We have areas in terms of nuisances that we are active on. If you're parking your car in your front yard, if you're maintaining junk in your front yard, if you have a dilapidated building or a garage, we are actively remediating those nuisances for a lot of reasons and goals associated with the governing body's direction. In terms of enforcing the chicken ordinance, this would be passive, right? And so there's been an accommodation for those with larger yards. We are aware, we are not, unknowledgeable that there are roosters in the community, that there are more than 6 chickens in different yards. But we take a passive approach. That being said, if your neighbor determines that they no longer want a passive approach to enforcement because your animals are causing trouble for them or waking them up or crowing constantly, then we become active in the enforcement and responding to a complaint to ensure that they have the quality of life that we have assured them when they move to Webster City as well. That's how I would tackle that question. We are very supportive of chicken culture in Webster City, given our long history with the McMurray Hatchery and its contribution to our community. But that's how I would describe our enforcement approach here.
Is there room at Brewer Creek Estates for chickens?
That's been an interesting question. I thought the covenants prohibited the keeping of livestock. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But we can change.
Unless you buy 2 lots, then you can have, no, just poor, badly timed jokes. So.
Yeah, allowing it through the chain, yeah.
So beat the chickens.
So, okay, so just we're on the same page. Prove it tonight, first reading, and then by the second reading, we want to prohibit. The share contracts. Got it.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, item 4 is closed session. Meet in closed session for the purpose of holding a strategy meeting in connection with collective bargaining with the fire department unit as authorised by chapters 20.17 and 21.5 of the Iowa Code.
To go into closed session.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Have a good night.
Good evening, everybody.